What's up guys, it's Richie Rich back yet again, and in this vid I'm gonna be spreading the word on people who have probably lost their way, stuck in a rut, not sure when tomorrow is gonna bring. This vid is gonna entail about following your dreams. Be sure to check this out. So yes guys, following your dreams. This is a very important vid that I think most people should be making, especially in today's current society, because a lot of people with what they kind of want to achieve, what they kind of believe to achieve, they kind of get, as I said, they kind of get stuck in the rut, or they sometimes kind of change their course just because of like people around them, or like certain speed bumps that go in their journey, and this is kind of just from like my experience and why I believe if you do have a dream, no matter how big it is, no matter how obscure it is, just don't say it, just do it. But yes, with dreams, okay, so I'm going to speak about my experience with what I've always wanted to do ever since I was like a little rich boy, so believe it or not, when I was before I could remember anything, I was very into animation, cartoons, comic books, that was always my kind of go-to. So when I was really young, I was always doing kind of sketches. I was drawing pictures, I was drawing kind of, designs from what I was watching on television, which was from Cartoon Network. When I was watching the superhero animated series, like the Batman animated series, Spider-Man animated series, Superman animated series, X-Men, so all of that, it was really just cool watching them because it really just expanded my imagination. So one of my dreams when I kept on watching these shows, I kept on drawing designs, kind of making my own ideas. When I was young, I used to send my kind of ideas to Cartoon Network, Turner Broadcasting, so I used to send my ideas, I had to be at this time because I was still in elementary. I had to be maybe it had to be maybe 6 or 7. So I was sending my designs to Cartoon Network, and I'd always put kind of a letter with it, saying oh, I hope you like the design. Can I please get a job to work for Turner Broadcasting, Cartoon Network, because that was just always. It's always what I found just fun, because it just took you out of just the regular of what society, because I know it's even now kind of how I am today, because I always feel like I'm a big kid, it's I never matured anyway, but when I was in that kind of time, when I was in my childhood, I would attach myself to all those kind of cartoons and all those, even when I was watching movies at the time, like the Batman film, like the Superman film, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, when I was watching that, it just always it was like an escapism of just the regular, normal society that you just get put into as soon as you become an adult, so I remember sending letters, and especially even when I was getting into my teens, I really started to carry on with my sketching and design, from it went from the early Cartoon Network shows like Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Ducks, and it went on to a more kind of a serious cartoons like Dragon Ball Z and Samurai Jack and Cowboy Bebop, so all those times I was definitely trying to become like a cartoonist, you know. I wanted to be like a Bruce Timm, you know, from the Batman animated series, or, you know, the creator who made Samurai Jack, you know. I wanted to be that person, you know, behind the scenes. But especially from being the UK, like, that was my major first dream, you know. It was definitely to work, you know, alongside, you know, as like you know, cartoonist and animation. Even I really wanted to even as well become like a comic book designer, you know, make my own comic books, make my own characters, you know. And funny enough, I actually had one character that I actually made in my teens. It's actually called Goth Chick, you know. I do have the actual I may actually put like a you know, window like of how it looks like. Yeah, I'll actually put like yeah, but it's meant to be a character, because as I was going in secondary school / high school, you know, that goth kind of era really rose, you know. So I was in a class with like a lot of goth students. It was like peace with it all, you know, that whole Marilyn Manson, you know, Mother Canonicus, you know. So, you know, I had the idea to kind of make this kind of outcast character who secretly becomes like a superhero, but it's in the gate, you know, gates of a goth. You know, so I call it Goth Chick, you know. So I will like, you know, flash like the design. No one better like take the idea. But as like so how it kind of shifted was like from basically, let's say, like from the start of school all the way to like you know, higher learning. My whole goal was like, you know, to become like in some way or some form like you know, like either it was a graphic designer, you know, a cartoonist. Even I was even some ways trying to work even in the video game industry, because I back in the day I used to be a superb, you know, and real iconic gamer. You know, I used to go to gaming competitions to play Street Fighter, you know, and Street Fighter, you know, Mortal Kombat. You know, so I was really big into gaming. You know, it's just some layers as the years go on. You know, you let the currents of like what you're doing as an adult, you know, it's like you don't really have time for it, you know. So, and I still love gaming, it's just that I don't have time to play for it, you know. So as I got out of like the higher learning, and it's like because I studied like media while I was in you know, university, you know, I noticed that when I came out and I couldn't get that much kind of jobs, couldn't get jobs in that kind of field. I said, like, what is like my other passion, what I also always love as well, you know. And as much as I always loved that, like the creativity and that, I was always big into sports. I was big into health and fitness. I was big into athleticism, you know. You know, I used to do track when I was in secondary school. I was in the soccer team, you know, and in just general, you know, I was big into like you know, bodybuilding and you know, the big like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno, you know, like the, you know, the Haley, the Olympic champions. You know, I just always like admired like the hard work they took to get these like larger than life physiques, you know, which really got me into like WWF back then. It's WWE, but WWF, you know, the likes of like The Rock, Chris Jericho, Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, Kurt Angle, you know, those kind of guys. You know, I really like more of the ones who had the physique but were all around athletes. You know, so when I got out of uni and I was like, okay, I can't go this route, I focused and put all my energy into sports and, you know, fitness. You know, I started training heavily, like in my late teens, early 20s. I started going very extreme. You know, I was getting like muscle and fitness mags. You know, I started learning like different proteins, you know, how the body reacts to really shocking the muscles, you know. And I remember the early years when I first started training, it was really difficult. You know, I didn't believe like I couldn't continue. I was really introduced to pain, you know, for the first time, you know. But the dream was in some way, certain shape or form, you know, I wanted to kind of make a good career from being like a kind of like, in a way, but I wanted to be like a superstar, you know. Like I was definitely, and even to this day, big fan of like Chris Jericho, you know. And what was funny is the moment I made the choice to go that route of go into this kind of sports kind of realm. It was because I read Chris Jericho's first I believe biography or biography. I'm not sure which one it is, but it was called The Lion's Tale around the world in spandex, and he told the story of Christopher Keith Irving, his real name. He had a dream to be a professional wrestler and also to be a rock star, and he was able to accomplish both. But it shows all the trials and tribulations that he took from his late teens all the way to when he actually made it to the WWF in his just before he approached 30. So I remember looking at his book and I kind of saw myself in it, because I've always been that kind of goofy, charismatic kind of person, and it's I idolize Chris Jericho, So I remember reading his book, and this was almost like a decade ago, and I saw what he did, his training, how he got so good in promos, just being all around that kind of superstar. And I just really took a liking to what he was saying. He said one quote that I always remember. He said, the ones who don't believe, and this goes with the Dreams fans, he said the ones who don't believe you can do it and make it, they have already failed in their life or what they're doing. So if they kind of see you doing it, it's it makes them feel even worse because they gave up while you're still keep on pursuing and trying. So when I heard that, I always felt, no matter what I'm trying to do, if I'm trying to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if I'm trying to do capoeira, if I'm trying to do parkour, even if I'm trying to become an XFL athlete, I'm never going to know unless I try, and especially when you're in that age, it's good just to sometimes go into the deep end, because you know how it feels like. No, it was really crazy because I remember I'll never forget it, the years so when I was out of uni and I was just on this whole thing to become the dream kind of changed for sports superstar because I did notice as I was going through them times wrestling started to fade, the boom era had gone. So I wasn't even a fan of it as I was before because around the time the late 90s, early 2000s, wrestling was at its peak, and there was casual fans who been tuning into wrestling. Then it slowly died away to the diehard fans. Then the diehard fans who really couldn't watch any more of this kind of filth, So I was at one point I was trying so hard to actually become a professional wrestler. I went to wrestling school. I went to wrestling school. I went there for just underneath a year, and I just felt when I was in the school, because of the whole thing of what I was doing there, and I wasn't really getting actually any proper support. And I was going there by myself, I thought there was something to do. I never felt I truly could have made it, not even I had the skill or just I didn't have the psychology. It was just I honestly couldn't believe I could do it because there was no one around my corner saying Richie, go Richie, I'm with you, you can make it. I had no one, there was no, still isn't there Richie, but there was legit no people on my team, so I had to just keep on striving and just hoping, I could make this, but it was. I mean, in some ways, some things happen for a reason because, I was in that. So I was doing wrestling, and I started doing Brazilian capoeira, and even at the same time, I was still doing weight training to build my physique up. So sometimes jumbling all of this was very difficult because I wasn't really working a full-time job. I was just hustling. Sometimes I was finishing work late because I used to work as security guard, night bouncer, back in the day. So I remember finishing that job and then going home, sleeping for a bit, waking up in the wrestling school at night, so it's a very difficult thing to do, but it's I always believed in my dream, and I always was okay, if I want to do this, I gotta be that person, pushing myself, keep on giving me that kind of discipline to say concentrate, and so from that dream, it went on from so when that wrestling dream kind of kind of fizzled, I started to get into the fitness. I mean, I was already training before, but I didn't really know the actual knowledge of what it takes to be like a fitness guru. I wasn't actually trained going to school for fitness. I just was around the gym, just picking up little nuggets of knowledge from everyone. And it wasn't until I stopped with kind of wrestling and I stopped with my capoeira. I said, you know what? Maybe people are, but if I really want to take this fitness seriously, and I want to make these kind of gains and muscle side, I should go there and learn it the proper way. So as I was going from my way, I went to a course to get my fitness qualifications. First it was I was able to get my group instructor, so I'll be able to kind of teach classes, and the way how you show someone in the gym, giving them an induction. And then after that, I was then down the road, I was able to become a personal trainer. When you're able to train someone, for just a good hour, and you give them dietary, and you give them their workout routine, they become your client. So all these kind of skills I was learning from that, and especially I had the background in athletics, in wrestling and that. I was able to incorporate that with my with what I was doing as a fitness trainer. But yeah, so how it went was, especially the last years, while I was in the UK before I came, I was pretty much I was in this kind of position of, I still wanted to be kind of this kind of, and when I mean when Chris Jericho, said he wanted to be a rock star and he wanted to be, a professional wrestler, I wanted to kind of be on some level that Jericho, is, currently, whether it be wrestling or in some kind of form of sports and entertainment. So I was really pushing, as me being a fitness trainer, I was really pushing, because I was always doing modeling back in the day. I was really trying to push into trying to break through that kind of fitness modeling to maybe hopefully becoming maybe even a fitness competitor, but as I was doing that, I was just having difficulties, more just kind of personal difficulties, that was kind of affecting me to, kind of pursue that full time, hence, one of my reasons I'm here, I had way too many distractions flowing around my cranium, that just made situations that I wanted to do unsuccessfro. So those last years in UK, it was it went from that dream from trying to become pro wrestler, or someone it was a superstar like a Jericho, The Rock, it went from that to getting out of United Kingdom. That was always a dream of mine, ever since I was a teen. I always loved the whole idea of there's just this whole land to explore, and especially me, I'm someone who just loves to wander and just meet different and explore, see different spaces, and it was when I was in London, especially for someone who's done so much different jobs, met so much different people, learned so much different trades, it became a point in London I was just doing everything that was the same thing, and I wasn't moving up or moving down. I was just stuck in limbo, so it became those latter years when I was in the gym. So I was working as a personal trainer and I was hustling everywhere. I was doing videos like this on YouTube. The whole goal from me, especially when I had come Canada 5 years ago, it was to leave UK. That was one of my main dreams. Not like I said that was the culmination, that was the final. It was the most immediate, and most attainable goal was to leave the United Kingdom, and it wasn't even like a thing of like, oh, London sucks, or like all this. It was just like, he's like, some people are different. Some people are born and raised in some countries and it works for them, and some people are born in the countries and nothing ever goes their way. So they think the only way, the best way to actually carry on and do the things they want to able to do is they have to kind of bounce, and so many other people do it across the world, but what stops a lot of people is fear. They always kind of worry of like, oh, what if I go there and I don't get a job? What if I go there and I don't know anyone? They're already thinking of the negatives, and because it was always like, for me, it was legit. I have to get at all cost, I didn't care about any negatives, even when I came, I was prepared to stay, in a hostel, a cottage, even if I had to sleep on the roof, whatever. It was just, I had to make it all cost, and this is what I'm saying about dreams, every time I felt, every time I knew, or, every time I was like, I'm gonna go, Canada, it was the thing that gave me like, purpose. Like, I gotta get to this place, I gotta go, no matter what, it made me, it really challenged me to do things that I never really wanted to do, the whole kind of, that whole kind of concept, of the comfort zone, like the box, because for me to get there, I had to find a way to get out of this box of, comfortness, why I would do like, sometimes 3 jobs in a day, why I would make my own kind of, my own kind of like merchandise, single-handedly, and try to, hustle and sell it. So many other things I was doing, like that the ordinary person wouldn't do, but it's like I knew I needed to kind of achieve these feats to make the biggest leap and jump all the way to where I am now. While Will Smith was promoting the 3rd installment to Bad Boys, he was on a radio, I think it was Sway, and he was giving everyone like an insight about like following your dreams, because for Will Smith, when he was the rapper, doing that, like he was more kind of like the friendly, happy-go-lucky rapper, when the rap scene was dominated by like it was more like, at the time he was there with like Public Enemy and that, so it was more like political, then he went to gangster rap, so he was the only kind of like friendly the kind of comedic rapper, so at the time he kind of made sure he stayed his way, but especially when he came onto the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, his goal was to become like the biggest blockbuster movie star at the time, and no one believed him, because he didn't really study acting, it's not like he went Hollywood to study acting, he was the musical artist transitioning to like a TV star, and then later to transition to what he become now, Will Smith household name, so when he was there on that radio show, he was saying like that whole life of following your dreams, it's going to involve sacrifice, it's going to involve loneliness, it's going to involve people not understanding what you're doing, so they're going to put tags on you like you're crazy, you need help, go get a regular job, and he said, if the dream is so, it's like you have to do it, it's like what, keeps your heart beating, it is the be-all end-all. You won't let any of that affect you, because that's more important than life itself. You know what I mean? It's like getting there. You don't mind of like the scratch, the bruises, the blood, sweat, and tears, because this is what your purpose is. And when I saw Will Smith said that, I already got it, because it's like he doesn't even have to say too much, but just from his energy, I've already been in those situations, when I was going, wrestling school for the first time, nervous as HELL, but I still had to go do it. Same when I went capoeira, presenting capoeira, didn't know all the other people there, they only spoke Portuguese. I was the only one who didn't speak, their language, but it's like I had to find a way to adapt, being in just this uncomfortable situations, and it's like from time to time, going sometimes just into the deep end. In some ways it's good because if you've experienced the most difficult situations, you're just more ready for kind of what comes next, rather than someone who's just playing it easy, who doesn't want to get any scratches, who doesn't want to get any bruises. He's just playing it safe, all the time. He's always keeping his like helmet and safety belt on, especially at times when they don't need it on. That person is never really gonna see the corner, like the whole exposure of like what it is to be a person. You know what I mean? They're not gonna really have any stories to tell. So like, if I go back like the track, so remember it was the idea was, the first goal was like, to become like a cartoonist. Second one was to become like graphic designer slash like, video game, artist, developer. Third one was to kind of like, getting like the, third one was to become like a professional wrestler, Jericho. Then like straight after that, it was to become like a fitness, trying really hard to become a fitness, fitness model or fitness competitor. But I wanted like somewhere they could see like my face and like my body and say, okay, that's what a good physique is, and the fifth one was definitely, the final like move out, of getting out of the United Kingdom. So like, I'm at this point now where I'd say all the stuff that I said I was gonna do, I was able to do it, but I still believe there is way more stuff I know that I'm capable of achieving, and as I've mentioned in my things, I'm definitely looking to pass by, because I'm over here now, I'm definitely looking to go visit Los Angeles, California, Hollywood, just to see there, because me, I've just always been a fan of like films and movies, and it's, you want to talk about dreams, like imagine going to where like you've seen like seeing like Batman for the first time. You saw Jack Nicholson Batman, to go there and see like the Hollywood the Walk of Fame and see their like imprints and that, so like that's definitely one of mine, like what I'm looking for this this year, man. And like with that, I'm definitely looking to try to just expand like what I'm doing with this kind of rich man like persona of me. I'm really trying to focus on like branding this as hard as I can. I still with doing what I'm doing as a fitness trainer. I'm just really trying to make this what I am, because I say it's a character, but it's just me, with the volume like turned up to the max, but it's like I really want to see what it can do in like this kind of era, because so yes guys, that's the end of this vid. As I said, I'm taking a much needed break, vacation for now. Then once I come back with a video that's can take this channel to the top, it will be there. But yes, stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for the next coming video, which will be coming soon. And as always, it's peace to fingers.